This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of March 4th, 2024. This week is brought to you by the planet Mercury. You might have heard that there's a Pisces new moon at the end of the week, but the big action leading up to it completely involves Mercury, ruler of our information systems, our thoughts, what goes in and out of our minds. Mercury is in the sign of Pisces as the week begins, and it is running a gauntlet of opening our minds, bringing new and innovative and potentially disruptive, awakening and liberating information, thoughts, messages, then huge amounts of inspiration, guidance, otherworldly influences pouring into our ability to communicate with each other and pick up information, and then moving into action. Mercury starts the week in a sextile to its crazy genius uncle Uranus. This is an opportunity aspect. A really good way to harness this is to use the phrase, "show me another way to look at this," because something is flying in that could open your thinking and really open some situations up. This aspect has the characteristic of lightning hitting the water and showing what's really going on in it. Now, you don't necessarily want to be in the water when this happens. That might not be too good for your nervous system or continued existence. But if you're watching it, no telling what you will see differently. And this is presaging what you're going to be able to do at the Pisces new moon at the end of the week. Something isn't quite settled in a relationship or a desire as a result of what you see, what you are starting to open to. On the 6th, Mercury and Venus make an uncomfortable nudging aspect of a semi-sextile. This is the aspect, again, that wants you to look at something that is bugging you until you stop and go, oh, and then you deal with something. So this may simply be acknowledging something to yourself about I don't know, maybe change that's coming in a relationship. This does not have to be awful or a big drama, because compassionate, empathetic, inspirational information is immediately flooding in. On the 8th, Mercury conjoins Neptune, both in Pisces, and everyone's intuition is going to be off the charts. This is a formula for telepathy, for knowing without being able to put logical, conscious words to the knowing. Asking for information, staring off into the skies, meditating, asking for guidance. All of those approaches will get you somewhere very magical. Don't be surprised if you know who's calling, assuming people actually still use the phone for that. If you get a message from someone who's been on your mind, if you have a real strong sense of what the person next to you in the checkout line at the grocery store is thinking, feeling, undergoing. Relationships still have that kind of uncomfortable nudge going on with them. On the 9th, Venus makes a semi-sextile to Neptune. These two planets are the rulers of love and inspiration. And if you have the sense that someone isn't being straight up with you, that someone's been gaslighting you, if you feel like maybe you've been fooling yourself, this nudge will encourage you to actually look at the situation and perhaps deal with it. And deal with it you will, because whatever insight, epiphany, new way of thinking, brilliant idea dangles in front of you, bursts within you on the 4th, the gumption, the wherewithal, the motivation to do something with it veritably explodes on the 9th. Mars squares Uranus. Mars, planet of push, in the sign of Aquarius, technology, squares Uranus in Aquarius, technology. This is a demand for action, a demand for movement. There could be some big event that happens out in the collective that affects lots and lots and lots of people. This could also be presaging whatever is going to end up blowing open, loose, out, through for you in April, when Jupiter and Uranus meet at 21 degrees Taurus. This week's precipitating action is highly personal. At the same time that Mars is squaring Uranus, the Sun is in a sextile or opportunity aspect to the quick change artist as well. You will be motivated to do something, to shake something up for your own purposes, for your own benefit, for your own freedom of expressing yourself. And yet, it's not really an easy peasy, straightforward 1, 2, 3 playing out, because the Sun and Mars aren't entirely getting along when this happens. They are themselves making that uncomfortable nudging semi-sextile. So you may simply act even though you feel a little weird about it. You may feel a little weird and feel you have no choice but to act. And then, as chips are flying everywhere, as action is breaking out all over the planet, Mercury changes signs, enters the sign of Aries. Our communication systems, our thoughts, our information flow, social media, all of that moves into impulsive, high energy, excitable, unpremeditated action. This isn't sitting around and thinking through how somebody else is feeling or what the impact might be on that person. This is saying, blurting, unpremeditated, unfiltered, high energy, mental action, high energy communicating. If people have been fed up, they're going to express it. They aren't going to be too concerned about how it's received. Saying is more important than being heard. Remember that. And as soon as Mercury changes signs, he meets the gatekeeper of the zodiac, Pluto. On the 10th, Mercury makes a sextile to Pluto, opening the door to going really deep into a situation, getting very, very clear, finding out behind the scenes information. Most importantly, innately, intuitively, impulsively gravitating to what is most important, not sweating the small stuff, but cutting back and heading right for the meat of whatever the matter is at hand. And while our minds are really focusing, while communication is taking off the gloves, we have the paradox of a new moon in Pisces. Its ruler, Neptune, is close enough to the event to be shining sparkle and glitter into the interconnected waters of all life. This event gives you a place to park all of your new ideas that you had earlier in the week, transform them into something that you're going to push forward out into the year. And this new moon is in an opportunity aspect with Uranus. So some of that lightning, some of the insight, epiphanies that were raining down at the beginning of the week will also be part of this new moon, also be part of the new start, the next phase that's being launched now. So track the shifts in the information coming to you, track the messages, track the changes in your attitudes and thinking. Some of those are going to pour right into this new start. Homing thought of the week. I know what I can do with that. Song of the week. Don't Dream It, Be It from Rocky Horror Picture Show. And image of the week. I've got two. One is Benjamin Franklin harnessing lightning with his fabled kite and key. And the second is a light bulb going on over a character's head in a cartoon. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the Pisces new moon and for the month of March, both of which are up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I have lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. And this week, my guest is Dutch author and teacher Mike Bijs, who's going to talk about updating Kabbalah for the 21st century through his new book, Paths on the Tree of Wisdom. I'm also appearing on Spirit Talk podcast on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern on Annette Dion's YouTube channel, taking a look at the astrology of current events. I host conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Instagram and Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.